Today we're going to talk about bad business habits that you need to break if you want to be successful. Hi, it's Barbara. Welcome back to Wiki Design. Today we're talking about bad habits. Everybody has a few bad habits. I know I personally do, but when it comes to business, bad habits can actually stunt your growth. Over the years of running Wiki Design, we definitely developed some bad business habits, and once we broke those habits, we really started to see growth and success. So I wanted to talk about 5 habits that we broke because these are habits that you might be doing in your business. And once you break those habits, you will start to see more growth and more success. The first habit that we had to break was comparing our business to other businesses in our industry. This is something that's really hard to stop, but it's something that's really essential. It's really easy to get caught up in what other people are doing because we go on their social media profiles, we see how they're marketing their business, we see the services that they're offering, and we think to ourselves, should I be doing that? Are these things that will make me successful? But you have to realize that every business is different, even if you're doing the same thing as somebody else. We've definitely been guilty of this. We've gone to people's Instagrams or Facebook pages and thought, oh, maybe we should offer this as a service too because they seem to have a lot of success with it. But instead, what we really needed to focus on was the things that were working for us. Our business isn't the same as their business, so we don't need to be doing the same things. What we try to do now is focus on the things that are really working for us and celebrate those successes instead of trying to compare ourselves to other people. The second habit that we had to break in our business was not setting boundaries with our clients. This is something that is really essential. You have to learn to say no. I know it can be hard to say no because you want to make money and you want to make your clients happy, but if you let your clients push the boundaries with you all the time, it's just going to end up being a bad situation. Over the years of running Wiki Design, we've definitely had clients that push the boundaries and those projects weren't fun to work on. But what we realized was we didn't have any boundaries set, so how was our client supposed to know what those boundaries are if we didn't tell them up front? What we did to really solve this problem was create a really clearly defined onboarding process. And that process is something that we give to every new lead before we even start working with them. So they know exactly how we work, what we can expect to see from them, and what they can expect to see from us. Setting that up and giving that to our clients and our leads from the beginning has really helped our process overall. It's streamlined the experience, we provide better work, and we don't get into situations where clients are pushing boundaries. The third habit that we had to break in our business was going outside of our process. So I talked a little bit about our onboarding process, and this is something that we defined over the years of being in business. But it was kind of hard at first to really stick to that process because you want to make people happy and you want to make money. So you want to work with people that don't necessarily fit into the way you do things. But whenever we went outside of the process and the way we worked, things just didn't work out the way we wanted them to. And it's kind of obvious why, because it wasn't our process. It wasn't the way that we did things. This is something that I really think is important in running a business. You need to have a process. You need to have clear boundaries and figure out exactly the way you want to work. It's totally okay if certain people don't fall into the way you do things. Not everyone is your client. But when people do fall into that bucket that you've created for yourself, they're going to be so much happier with the end result. If you're doing things that you're not really comfortable doing or you're not super familiar with, you're not going to give people a great product in the end, and they're not going to be necessarily super happy. If you follow your process and you stick to it with every client, you're going to have happy customers. The fourth habit that we needed to break in our business was not investing in systems that made our life easier. When we first started Wiki Design, we had a really tight budget and we wanted to do everything ourselves because we wanted to save money. So we did literally everything. The accounting, the onboarding process, we wrote every contract by hand. We did it all ourselves. And there's tons of different systems that made these processes easier for us. And I wish we invested in them sooner, because we now have so much more time to do things that we really want to do instead of focusing on a bunch of mundane tasks that we don't really want to do in the first place. It's really worth your time and energy to invest in systems that will make your life easier. One thing that we invested in was a CRM. We use Dubsado as our CRM now, and I don't know why we didn't do this from the beginning, because we have so much more time to focus on our client projects instead of all the behind the scenes tasks. Dubsado is really great because we can now set up our contracts in there. We can set up projects for every client. We have different tasks in there. We have our scheduler in there. It makes our life so much easier. Before, we were doing all of this stuff by hand, and it took so much longer to set up a project because we didn't have anything that made it easy for us. I wish we invested in this sooner, and I highly recommend investing in systems that will make your life easier. Do it early because you're going to regret not doing it. The fifth habit that we had to break in our business was not trusting ourselves. This is something that I think a lot of people in business struggle with. You start to doubt yourself and you stop trusting your gut, but almost always your gut instinct is the right one. There have been so many times where we didn't trust our gut and we got ourselves into situations that weren't the greatest. Maybe it was a project or a client that just really wasn't a fit for us, but we ignored our gut instinct and we decided to move forward with that project. And the results ended up being not so great. There's also been times where we signed up for different programs or workshops and we didn't necessarily agree with what the people were saying, but we were like, well, let's just stick it out because maybe they know something that we don't know. But deep down inside, we were like, this just doesn't feel right. And we ended up spending a ton of money on something that really wasn't worth it. It's really important to just trust your gut. You know what you're doing, you know your business, and if something doesn't feel right deep down inside, there's a reason for that. So trust your gut and you'll be successful. So those are 5 business habits that we had to break at Wiki Design. Can you relate? Are these habits things that you're trying to break in your business? Leave a comment down below. I'd love to know your thoughts. And if you like videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up and ring that notification bell so you get notified whenever we upload new videos like this one. See you next time.